Hey everybody! Welcome to our second episode of Manic Monday with the Mind Your Business cast. I'm Alle.
I'm Bee.
And we are going to talk today about our dirty 30s. Because, you know, in your 30s, you drink coffee after 5 o'clock at night instead of beer. Because your kids are going to wake up really early and they got to go to school. And I feel like you get hangovers a lot easier in your 30s, right?
Yeah, I get to where I can't even get out of bed.
Yeah. I took a nap today. It was a good nap, like an hour-long nap. And I don't think I ever took naps in my 20s.
I didn't. I hated it. But God, what I'd give for a nap right now.
Yeah. Naps are great. Listen, so I have like a list of things that I have noticed changed when I turned 30. Literally, like overnight, I swear, they just changed. It was like, hey, you're 30 and everything's going to slow down and be miserable.
Remember I used to go to the doctor, they're like, slow down what you eat because you're going to lose that weight later. And I'm like, I can't get past 125, which now I'm 170 and can't lose a pound of it at all.
Okay, so coming from somebody, see, Brittany had all of her kids and she was like real young, maybe even before her 20s.
16, but I graduated a year early.
That counts. Still counts. I had my first one at 25 and I had my newest one at 30. And I really just want to talk about how much more difficult it is having a kid in your 30s. Like, you have no idea. I mean, when I had Jasleen in my 20s, I feel like I took a while to lose the weight, but like health-wise, I just bounced back. Like, it was like, woo, here I am, no big deal. And this time around,
You're dragging ass.
it's like almost a year and a half later, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I still feel like I can't do anything. It is so bad. It's really hard.
Oh, yeah. I can't. Like, I guess on the cruise, watching the kids, like, we went to bed early because I was so exhausted. I'm like, here, just get in bed because we're all taking a nap, like a really long nap.
So I went on my first cruise in my 20s. And when I went, I was there with my 3-year-old, and I didn't have anybody to watch her, but I partied my ass off. Like, my cousin can attest to this. I mean, we got so drunk the night before Honduras, and if any of you have ever been to Honduras, you know that the humidity is literally over 90% all the time, and it was really hot, and I had a hyper 3-year-old that was just like, I want to do this, I want to do that. You guys, she was chasing like a deadly black iguana that was like twice her size around a tree, and I was so hungover that I was like, I don't even know what to do with this right now. So, but I did that in my 20s, and I survived it, and it wasn't a big deal. If I tried to do that now, I think I would die. Like, either I would die or my kids would die. I mean, I
can't
don't
do
know.
nothing. Like, when we went to my brother's wedding this weekend, and my kids love to embarrass me every chance possible. So they were telling the guy I'm with how it's funny how mom can't get on a trampoline without peeing.
Oh, the lost bladder control. I never had that.
And he just looks at me like, what? You do what? I was like, I can't jump or jump rope or jump a trampoline because I'll pee my pants. And he's like, y'all did that to your mom. And they're just like, well, you know. But, I mean, that's one of my biggest things. Like, I can't be active. I'm like, God forbid. And then I play softball, and I ruin every bone in my body, and I feel like I'm 80. And I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I would like to be 20, but I'm not.
Yeah. Listen, if you're excited about going into your 30s, we are here to ruin that for you today. We are here to just, like, squash everything about it. So you start getting wrinkles. And I was always that person that was like, oh my God, I don't think I could ever do plastic surgery. Needles near my face? No, hell no. Any of that stuff. And now, when I put on my makeup and I watched my foundation like go inside my wrinkles, and I'm like, oh God, like that looks even, you know what, this is as good as it gets. Like, I'm just gonna have to live with it. I'm strongly reconsidering those thoughts that I had in my 20s when I thought the elasticity in my skin would be forever there, and it's not. It's slowly going away. It might be quickly going away.
Under my belly pudge, I don't know if it's because when I got my hysterectomy, which is the best thing I've ever got in my life, but I have this like cell breakdown right there in my stomach that looks just like a little pooch, and I'm just like, even though I work out, I've changed my eating habits, and I eat good.
No, mine's a front butt. I call it a front butt.
I don't have that.
No. So, like, you lose all the weight.
But it doesn't go back to muscle like it should.
That's what I'm saying. You lose all the weight, and that little pooch, it's like saggy skin that was like, no, I'm just going to stay here. And it's literally like, it's like butt cheeks, like just hanging butt cheeks.
It looks like, you know how you have a double chin, but it looks like your stomach has a double chin. And it's just like... So I called liposuction the other day to see how much it would be.
Oh my God, don't do lipo. Lipo's so dangerous.
Why? They take it out of your stomach and your sides, and they just put it in your ass.
No.
This one does.
No, she don't need any more ass. Like, she don't need any more ass. Neither of us need any more ass. We just, you know, if I get rid of it, I'm going to donate it to, like, the Skinny Girl charity. They need to be warm in the winter.
Yeah, and then, like, when my thyroid messed up last year for God, whatever reason.
Yeah, who in their 20s is thinking about their thyroid?
I don't know, but I went from a size 5 in my butt, and then a 34C in my boobs, to a complete summer to a size 13 in my ass, and a size triple D 34 in my boobs. My back hurt, my hip goes out all the time, my knees freaking ache. I don't want to do it anymore.
So... me and my boyfriend were kind of laughing the other night because every Thursday we have this talk. We're like, what do you want to do this weekend? What do you want to do this weekend? We have 2 kids and a dog and a cat, but I don't know if the cat counts because he's incognito most of the time. We were sitting there talking about what would make an amazing weekend. And it was kind of like, which one of our parents can watch the kids so that we can just lay in bed all day? Mind you, neither of them volunteered, so we didn't get that amazing weekend.
I love that.
But, yeah, that, like, when you hit your 30s, like, that's what you're thinking about. I remember being in my 20s, and I was, like, calling my friends on Wednesday, like, what club are we going to? Whose party are we going to? Like, who's driving? Like, we were planning this stuff out. And then, I don't know if you guys ever did it, because I was, like, traveling the world in my military life during my early 20s, but we went shopping at Wet Steel every Friday to buy a new outfit because they were so cheap, and they were made cheap, y'all. They literally like fall apart the first night you wear them. Yeah. But we would go out and buy a new outfit at Wet Steel literally like every Friday and go out, and it was all like you had to wear something new and something fresh. I mean, that was like our weekend all the time. And I was spending so much money at the clubs that I just started working there. I was like, maybe I should just learn to bartend and work here. Then I can still hang out with the people and, you know. Yeah,
but then you're like at work and then you don't
No, girl, we still drink at work. It didn't make a difference. And then there was always an after party. So, yeah, 20s were just like so much more fast paced. And then I feel like you hit your 30s and you're like, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Where did my 20s go?
No, mine was like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Like, has this already grown up? Were we supposed to decide this before now?
Kids, work.
Hi, Amanda.
Hospital. Like, after I got sick, I was out for 4 years. Like, I didn't do anything for 4 years. Like, I was just like a blob sitting there with kids running around.
Yeah, and don't you feel like your kids kind of like take over your identity? Like, you're no longer
I don't even have my own closet.
you.
Zoe takes everything out
Yeah,
of the
it's
closet.
like, oh, that's Zoe's mom. That's Jazz's mom. That's Maya's mom. Like, we're not even, like, people anymore. We're, like, an entity of another small person. It's like we don't matter. We're just kind of sitting there in the wind. And then let's not, like, forget the fact that I bought a minivan.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever do that.
I totally bought a minivan.
You know what? I did it when I first had Hunter, and that shit went out the door.
I love my minivan.
I'm a trucker.
You know what? I feel like especially in Texas.
I like your minivan, but I won't drive a minivan.
Every family, at least in the state of Texas, needs a truck because there's fishing, so you got to be able to haul a boat.
Garage sales.
Yeah, you always, like, you're going to be buying new stuff that's, like, everything's bigger in Texas, right? So you always have to, like, be able to fit something in the back of your truck. So every family needs a truck. But I love my minivan, and my 20-year-old self would be, like, puking right now over me saying this. But I feel like it was just literally, like, the best thing ever. It's great for road trips. We've already done, like, multiple road trips in it.
I'm in mom mode to where, like, I can get a 68 Mustang now because my kids are starting.
Yeah, no.
My youngest is 9.
Yeah, because your daughter calls your friends and asks them to take her to the mall. To sneak out and go hang out with her friends.
Yeah, find out her boyfriend was there.
Oh, I'm so not ready for that.
As bad as I was, my kids are going to be horrible.
Yeah, that whole you reap what you sow, I'm already feeling it. I am feeling it. Woo! We'll save that one for another day. Another thing that I think I noticed in my 30s, and this might be a little personal, I don't know. So I feel like in my 20s, I don't know, like, sex wasn't a big deal. It's kind of like, cool if you get it, cool if you don't. When you're in your 30s, it's like, I don't know what happens to your body, but as a woman, you're just like, oh my God, I need to be having sex all the time. I think it's our biological... No, I think it's our biological clock, because I feel like by the time you're 30, it's like programmed into you biologically that you should be having children or have, like, already had kids. So I think 30s, like, before you hit 40s and 50s and menopause, it's like, hey, this is your last ditch effort. Like, you need to go procreate.
Yeah,
but it's so weird. It's like that switch flips, and it's just, I need this all the time. And I just remember being in my 20s, and I was like,
We would go to the gym and come home and be like, just passed out, and whatever guy called that night, maybe he'd come over, maybe he wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. Remember the possum?
You remember the possum? I was totally thinking the same thing.
Oh my God.
Brittany, so B was seeing this
coach from...
Was he? Yeah, he was like a school teacher. Don't say where he's from.
Baseball coach from
another
the
school.
country.
Anyway, and I was sleeping in my room, wasn't I? Yeah, I was alone.
The neighbor came, I think, and knocked on the door.
Danny. Oh my gosh. So we lived, like, way out in the country in this little farmhouse with this huge back porch. And, it's one of those places where you have to burn your trash, but we couldn't burn it for a really long time because there were all these burn bans.
Yeah.
And so, whenever they would release the burn ban or whenever it was raining, we're like, we need to burn some trash.
But we couldn't burn all of it.
That was country living at its finest, y'all. Anyway, Brittany is, she's in there with her man, and they're having their intimate time. Hi, Jennifer. And I hear this noise, and I can also hear them because these walls in this house were paper thin, so I was like, oh my God, gross. So I go in the kitchen to investigate the noise, and I smoked a lot at the time, so the neighbor was coming over to, like, bring me a cigarette because I didn't want to sit inside and listen to them. So I was like, I'm going to hang outside with Danny until this business is over, roommate respect. And then I'm going to go back in. And this possum came in the house.
And this thing was like probably 3 feet big, and not including the tail. The tail was like another 2 feet.
It was pissed. It was so pissed. And Danny is, like, trying to get this thing, and then the power goes off.
So we had to get an extension cord from our house to our neighbors, which is like half an acre away.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So the power goes off, and we're like, what the heck? Like, this is something out of, a horror movie. And I'm on top of the counter, just sitting in a ball, freaking out. And I'm screaming at Brittany, and she's literally like, let me finish. You guys, she didn't even come save me from the possum. And so Danny, like, takes this thing out, like, he gets it to go out the back door on the patio.
Did you get, like, a candle or just a flashlight?
It was a flashlight. He gets it to go out on the back patio, and I literally kicked him in the butt and shoved him out the door and slammed the door and locked it because I was afraid he was going to let it back in. So he's locked outside with this pissed off possum. And then B comes out, her and the guy, and they're like, ass naked with sheets wrapped around him, and I'm like, oh my God, could this night get any worse? Like, I really reconsidered being her roommate for the longest time because she wasn't wanting to save me from the possum and came running out naked. Like, oh wait, this is more important. Let me finish. Yeah.
I want to say I think you grabbed your gun too.
there's no telling what I did. I was terrified. I was like, this thing is going to eat us. It's in the house. Like,
so it's rummaging through the trash in the backyard because we didn't burn all this stuff. And it just ends up disappearing. So dude goes home. Neighbor goes home. We go back to bed. I sleep with my windows open. And all of a sudden at like 3, I swear to God, it was like 3:30 or 3:03 in the morning. One or the other. There's 2 threes. And I just see flames just fucking going everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, the yard's on fire. Long story short, our lovely neighbor, who we loved, was having a bonfire by herself, getting just completely canned and shit-faced.
Yeah. That woman was crazy.
We would just leave 6-packs of beer out in the front yard. She'd grab them.
She would mow our grass. She loved mowing. You guys, sometimes living in the country is literally like the funnest thing, and then sometimes it's not. Like when you have a tornado coming for you,
we're just sitting on the porch and just seeing it drive by, and I'm just like,
it's not fun during those times, or like whenever there's like a massive rain and then you've got like mud and flooded roads everywhere and you literally can't go anywhere. Like then it's not fun. But the crazy neighbor who will mow your lawn for a case of beer, and just it was a good time, and it was kind of cool where we could sit outside and have bonfires.
Were you there when we did the bonfire in front of her house with like when she saturated the toilet paper roll in just complete gasoline and then just lit it on fire?
No, but you guys told me about it.
Zoe was there with me, and she just flipped out. So then, after that, I decided to, me and our neighbor, down a bottle of Fireball, which my blood sugar was through the roof anyway. So once that hit me, and then the sugar hit me, like, I blacked out. But we decided to do a haircut.
Oh.
So I cut her hair. Somehow, I go back home. Zoe tells me the story, because I have no recollection of all of it. So I walk back home, my 14-year-old, and she says I go into the refrigerator. You were gone. I think you were in Atlanta or California, because I had your van.
Mm-hmm.
Open the refrigerator. She says I pulled a sheet cake out because it was just my birthday. My mom always makes me a strawberry cake on my birthday. And she says it fell on the ground, and I literally just say, oh shit, and I go back to my room. I wake up completely butt-ass naked. I look around. I'm like, who's here? No clothes, no nothing. Zoe comes in there. She's like, hey, Mom, are you going to get up? I'm like, Zoe, who's here? She's like, nobody. I was like, nobody was here last night? She's like, no. She's like, you just came in and took your clothes off and dropped cake on the ground. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I go in there, and there's just cake. It obviously still on the ground everywhere. This huge sheet cake of strawberry cake just laying on the ground.
And that's where the possum came from.
So
Did the haircut turn out good, though?
Yeah, I highlighted and cutted it, and it looked really nice.
Huh.
But I was just like, now I think back, and I'm like, how am I still alive? Like, the shit I did, I don't know.
Can we go back to, like, my 27th? I think it was my 27th
Your birthday?
Oh, my gosh.
So we had a DD, which we never have a DD together. And
He was my boyfriend at the time.
If I have to drink, if I have to drive, I do not drink. I'll have maybe 2 to 3, sometimes 4, and that's it. Or 3 shots and 1 beer, that's it. No, 3 beers, 1 shot. So Miss Sickling over here was on her liquid hydrocodone.
I had strep, and she was like, "You're going out," and I was like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Yeah, you're going out," and I was like, "I can't. I'm dying. Like I can't breathe. I can't anything." So she's like, "Come on, we're just gonna go play pool in Greenville." So we ended up meeting up with one of my friends that I went to school with when I wasn't going to school with Brittany, because I went back and forth like 2 or 3 times between 2 schools. Yeah. Growing up with divorced parents. Anyway, we ran into them, and then another one of my friends showed up there too. And we were drinking Rumplemans because supposedly and Brittany's idea was...
I love Rumplemans.
No, we started with Rumplemans. Was that it would help soothe my throat. Mind you, I had already taken the Tylenol 3 with codeine.
Oh my God.
So, you guys, like, 1 beer hit me. And then I don't know at what point we started adding Fireball to the Rumplements.
It was hopping. We went to the next one.
It was at the first one. We were like, okay, Rumplements and Fireball, and Rumplements and Fireball, and we were going back and forth. This really bad combination. Plus Michelob Ultra. Was it Michelob or Miller?
No, it was
I don't know. We were drinking beer with like buckets of beer. And then there was like some horrible karaoke going on. We ended up leaving the pool hall thing. I don't even know what that place is. I had never been.
I don't know what the other place was called.
We went to another club. I don't remember how we got there.
We remember driving down the road.
I don't know where it was.
In the van.
No. So then we get to that club, and we had a great time there. I think we spent most of the time trying to go pee. I don't remember. Anyway, I don't remember much of the second place. But whenever we left, we're on I-30, and I tell the driver, and we're in my van, and it's like full. And I tell the driver, I'm like, you got to pull over. And he's like, I was like, you need to pull over right now. So he's like, okay. He pulls over, and I'm literally on all fours. I think I sat there tossing cookies. Like, I was throwing up for like a good hour.
I was behind the driver.
She threw up in my van.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, she threw up in my van while I was throwing up.
But we didn't know this till the next day.
No, it got worse because then, like, a police officer pulls up behind me, and he's like, hey, man, is she okay? And he was like, birthday girl had too much to drink. And I'm still throwing up in front of this cop, and I'm so just like, oh my God, get me out of here. I think I'm going to die. I have alcohol poisoning. So I guess at some point the cop's like, yeah, I'm not putting her in my car, so just take her home. So I get back in my car, and we go to my friend's house, and we ended up staying there, and I guess
we stopped at McDonald's and got nuggets and fries, because we woke up in the midst of all of it. I did, and there's fries everywhere. I'm like, Alicia, I don't know where we're at. We need to go. I don't know where the car's at. Where's the keys? And you're just like groggy. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I still have class the next day. I had lecture at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I slept in my van on her puke.
And so
all day. And she never told me.
Every break,
I was sleeping on her puke.
On the window. I was like, Alicia, are you okay in there? She's just sprawled out in the back of the van. So after an 8-hour lecture, we get in, we take her to Care Now.
Because my strep throat was like so much worse. So then the doctor like gives me a different antibiotic, I think. And then we go to Walmart across the street to fill it.
I actually tell John this.
When I walked into Walmart, I think I was still, this was almost like 24 hours later. And I think I still was feeling the effects of the alcohol because I tripped
over a crack,
and it was like the biggest fall ever because I had my wallet and like my cards and my money and the prescription and like everything in my hand.
Everywhere.
It went everywhere, and everyone in Walmart stopped and they were like,
but there was this rude freaking lady sitting there talking on the phone, looking at her as she's on the floor.
She didn't pick it up. She just walked
I got
by.
it. Don't worry about it. Stay on your phone. And I'm sitting grabbing shit, talking shit to her.
And we're like dying laughing. Yeah, we were laughing hysterically.
Oh my God. I think we slept that whole day and night.
Yeah, you guys, 30-year-old me wouldn't survive that. Mm-mm. Like, it's just not happening. So that's the difference in like your 20s and your 30s. I mean, it's a huge difference. The whole, like, the memes and the jokes about going to bed at 9:30, 8 o'clock, I mean, they're legit.
Oh, you can ask John. Legit. I'm like, hey, babe, I haven't gone to bed. He's like, dude, it's like 8:30. I was like, don't wake me up when you get in bed. He gets to bed at like 2, 3 in the morning. I don't know how he does it every day. And I'm like, no, I have to go to bed. I have to get my sleep. I take like 2 muscle relaxers. Hopefully I get an 8-hour sleep before I get woken up.
Yeah. Oh, dirty 30s. Yeah.
And we're only 31.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's there. But, you know, we did decide what we wanted to be when we grow up, and we're going to be entrepreneurs. So we are working on our business and super excited about that. And I did want to say that with the Mind Joe Business Productions, we're going to be pushing out some merchandise, and there will be some opportunities to win some freebies. So stay tuned in as much as you can so that you don't miss out on those. And that's all I really got until next week. So,
if y'all have topics you want to talk about or jokes, not even jokes, like horrible lives that y'all experienced.
Anything you want to talk about. And we're going to start bringing on some guests. You know, we've got some people that I think are pretty fun. So, we got a lot coming up in the future. And that's all I have for this. So we're checking out. I'm Allie.
And I'm Bee.
And this is the end of our Manic Monday. You all have a wonderful day.